Good morning, it's Yvonne here to do your bonus read. We're going to use the Dragon Tarot for this reading. Okay, let's see what's going on in the big, bad bonus world. Okay, so I have the Wheel of Fortune coming through. This is a beautiful way. I love seeing the Wheel of Fortune coming forward in a reading like this because it feels to me you're on the verge of making new decisions or moving in a new direction, and this reading is finding you right on that borderline. The Wheel of Fortune talks about things going in your favor. It talks about completion of past events. It talks about forward movement and something now on your path that you've wanted but you weren't ready for. Okay, so we have Temperance behind that. I'm getting a lot of major arcanas in the readings today, so important to note. The Temperance card is a card of divine timing. It's about having everything in balance. It's about understanding that if you have everything in balance and you're in the energy of creation, then divine timing comes through. This is about vibrating where you need to be to create something. And you're vibrating here in a way that you're letting go of something to move forward. You're completing something. You're completing a cycle. You're completing an energy because you're in the energy of the Temperance here. And then we have the Tower. See, no matter what I do in this work, no matter where I go, you know, people say it to me all the time. I pulled the same cards as you this morning. I pull two different decks and I still get the same card. I've got the Tower coming through again. We have three major arcanas here. So whoever I'm speaking to here, and I know I'm speaking to a collective, there is something changing here about you, your mindset, where you think you're going, your attitude of gratitude, whatever it is here, you are rebuilding something because you've completed this cycle. So the Tower says to me that this time you're going to build differently. This time you're understanding what you've learned and you're putting it into practice. We have the King of Wands coming through here with the Knight of Wands. What beautiful energy. And the Judgment card. You have an opportunity here, Two of Wands, to move in a new direction. You have an opportunity coming to you, and I feel like here it's somebody from your past that is coming in. Whoever this person is, you're approaching this differently this time. You're approaching it from a completely different perspective because of what you've learned. Now, if you're still sitting back after having something from your past and you haven't done the learning and you're still seeing things from a very negative point of view, it's going to be very difficult for you to get something off the ground again if you haven't taken those lessons on board. If you fall over on your skateboard and you hurt your knees and you weren't wearing knee pads, but you know you should have worn knee pads, then you have never learned the lesson. If you've come out of a relationship feeling really sad and knowing that something within you needed healing, but you've not understood how to do that, then it's going to be very difficult to start something up again or start something new again from that place of pain. Now, something here tells me that you have learned the lessons. So I want to say, whoever I'm speaking to here, you've done the work. You have realized from a relationship, from a separation that you've had, that you need to heal parts of yourself. You may have needed to heal your issues around abandonment, rejection, not feeling lovable, not believing in yourself, and perhaps putting your energies in somebody else's hands. So maybe you were codependent. Maybe you're understanding what that means now. Whatever it is, for me, this says you have learned the lessons and you have done the work. You've taken responsibility, I want to say here. You understand that that issue, regardless of whether somebody's walked away from you or not, is not their issue. It's yours. You have to work out what is wrong or what is feeling within you that you have not recognized within yourself before. If somebody walks away from you, you can't punish yourself for that. You can't punish yourself, but you can understand yourself in how you deal with that or how you work with that. So if you're going to sit here sort of laying the blame on the other person, it may be that it was their fault, but you can't hold yourself responsible for that. And that is the big difference here. So when you get out of that energy of blaming or not taking responsibility, you start looking at how can I heal and be the best person I can be so that I can cope with these things in future. So I have the trust in myself that whatever comes my way, I am strong enough to manage. And I feel this is what some of you have learned here. It's you've learned that despite the fact somebody doesn't love you, despite the fact somebody's done something bad to you, something has been done to you, despite all of that, you look at yourself and think, how do I manage this going forward? What do I need to do? So you can never stop someone cheating or doing bad things to you. So the only way you can cope with that is by understanding that you can trust yourself and you believe in yourself that if it ever happened again, you would be able to manage it easily. But if you're still carrying around that attitude of this always happens to me, or this is what I'm going to expect, or whatever else, then you are still stuck in the victim mentality. And what I see here with this sort of energy in the Tower is something has to change, or something has changed because you're rebuilding yourself here. But this time you're building a version of yourself that is strong enough to withstand anything that comes your way. Okay, let's keep going. I feel that you've got somebody coming in here, possibly hearing from somebody who has an apology or an explanation about something that's happened in the past, because we have the Judgment card here. You are being called to action. You are being called to address something that happened in your past. You're being called back to life to do something again that did not go well in the past. It is part of a karmic cycle that you are going through. But this time you see you're doing it differently. You're taking a completely new approach to it. You're taking a completely new path. So instead of coming in with the regrets, the sadness, that victim mentality, that energy of you've done something bad to me and I'm hurt. That sort of energy, which we all feel in the beginning and is not wrong to feel. But what happens is if you stay in that energy, you are staying in that mentality. So what most of us understand is that even though that's happened to us, we still have to find a way to forgive. We still have to find a way to do things differently going forward. And you are doing this. There is healing here that you are doing here. And I see here with this Nine of Pentacles that you are standing in your own power now. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay, let's see where we're going with this. All right, I have the King of Pentacles coming through. So again with the repeat cards, there's a lesson here we're learning. There is a lesson here that is being taught to us to help us rebuild what we have built in the past, which was built on a faulty foundation. You know, I think that one of the big things that has come through to me over the years is the understanding of you cannot hold other people responsible for your happiness. When you fall in love with someone, you trust them with your heart. If they choose to do something with that, that has nothing to do with you. You can still love them, you can choose not to love them, but you can't hold yourself responsible for what somebody else chooses. And that means then you have to ask yourself, if that were to happen again, how would I manage that? Because if you're putting the energy on them, then you are not asking yourself, how can you do a better job in future? What would I do again if that happened to me again? And if you can honestly say, you know what, if it happened again, I can do this, I can come back, I can take care of myself, I understand my value, then you're coming from a brand new perspective here. I feel like somebody is making an offer of a long-term commitment with this King of Pentacles, but this time around you have to do things differently. All right, so we have the Magician, King of Pentacles, Magician. See, same cards all coming through here. There's an offer here. A beautiful offer coming through with an apology or an explanation here. Now, that doesn't mean if somebody's apologizing to you, you have to accept their apology and take them back. That is not about this at all. This energy here is about someone who's offering you an apology. If you want to take that apology or you don't want to take it, that's entirely up to you. But the explanation is here as well. So whatever you choose to do with this is your decision. You are rebuilding with that Tower. If you are still angry or upset about this person, if you are still in the blame and not taking the responsibility for your part in the situation, then there's not going to be anything coming of this. So you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to comment. This is somebody coming in asking you for an apology. Now, for some of you, this could be a husband or father figure. It may not necessarily be a romantic interest, but whoever this is coming in, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo perhaps, this is up to you how you manage this. But remember the work you have done to bring yourself to where you've come around to. All right, Three of Swords showing its face here with the Sun. Same cards coming through, Queen of Swords. See, this time you're taking on the energy of the Queen of Swords. This time you are making the decision that if you don't want this, you can cut it away. You are making a decision to speak from your truth because you have learned who you are now. So you're in a very different energy to what you were before. And it may be that in that particular situation, you came in with lots of fears around abandonment and rejection, and maybe they played out in this situation. But the Queen of Swords says to me, you're handling it with complete, clear communication. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles. There's your lack energy. The Devil card coming through here. And I know what the Devil is representing here. And we have the Page of Pentacles. I'm just going to do this little reading and then I'm going to put some more cards on it. So we have some sort of cycle finishing here. I feel like you've learned the lessons, you've done the work. You're in a much more stable place than you were before because you're vibrating beautifully in this Temperance card and you are very, very well balanced in your dealings now. I feel like you've already started to rebuild. You may have started to understand how to rebuild yourself, how this time you've done it from a place of self-love. That means nobody else holds responsibility for that love. If somebody chooses to love you, they come from their own place of love. That's nothing to do with you. So here we are in the Tower rebuilding. There is somebody I feel coming in here, Leo, Sag, Aries, but I feel like this is somebody who's taking the leadership here, coming in and making some sort of offer to you. I feel like it's somebody who needs to sort of put something right from the past. There's a rebuilding here with this Judgment card. But I feel like you're coming from a different perspective because of your own healing here. So there's a very different energy with that Nine of Pentacles here. So you're coming from a place of self-love this time and not from abandonment and rejection. This is beautiful energy. I see you rebuilding yourself. I see you starting to understand the things that have perhaps held you back in your past. But this is about healing those parts of your shadow, like the ones around abandonment and rejection. But healing the parts of you that have become, that perhaps created some difficult situations for you, but you're learning to take them on board, and I always say using them as a springboard to push you forward. Because I see this sun around the Three of Swords, and I feel like you've shone a lot of light, or you've been enlightened around your own pain here. There is a definite feeling though that you're taking place in this situation, like you're understanding that this has to happen, that this had to happen this way, that the pain you've endured has brought you round to this much stronger version of yourself. And I do see sort of an energy of letting go of this lack, letting go of this feeling left out in the cold, of being abandoned here. Like it's really coming through very strongly. But this time around, it's like you're understanding it and you're manifesting with the Magician. So it's the sun is the center of this reading, which is absolutely beautiful. The Devil card tells me that you have had perhaps energies around your codependency. Now, I know I hear people talking about codependency all the time and they completely misunderstand what codependency is. So dependency and codependency, very, very different energies. If you're codependent and you put other people's needs above your own, you don't know how to balance that out by being able to assert yourself or stand up for what you believe in. So you just let other people overrule that. And what happens in that codependent energy is you don't ask for respect. You don't ask for love. You allow people to treat you poorly because you think that you're not worth it. So what starts to happen is relationships become toxic. People don't want to put energy into that energy, so they walk away. And this is what's coming through here, is this really negative sort of energy coming through of the devil, where perhaps you don't think you deserve things. Very, very strong here. All right, so we have the Page of Wands coming through with the Temperance card coming out again and the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing here for you. You're seeing yourself from a very new perspective. You're seeing yourself very differently. And this time when you approach somebody who's perhaps, you know, done the wrong thing by you in the past, you're not looking at it through the eyes of blame and anger and distortion. You are looking at it for what it was. And you are able to accept that here and move through it, because you know that if somebody's walked away from you, they have now realized that you were worth it. They just didn't realize back then. So whoever this person is who's coming in, whether it's a family member, a friend, a lover, an ex-partner, this person has seen your value. You're vibrating where you need to be now in that temperance energy. So now they see you standing in your own power. And I feel like somehow or another they have done the healing as well. And maybe you can see this in them, maybe you can't. But I feel like this will come through this explanation and possibly an apology for you. All right, let's read you I'll do one of these cards here. You know, it's really funny when I do these readings, very often I pull out the same oracle card. So we're going to give them a really good shuffle here. This is the Whispers of Love Oracle deck. Oh, that one wants to come out. Be supportive. Okay, that's really interesting. Make a genuine effort to show you care. Card 45. Make a genuine effort to show you care. Some extra support and care is all that is needed. Encourage someone and recognize the effort they are making. Being supportive will help create harmony and peace. Just as the angels support us in all things, be willing to support the ones you love. Now this is about showing up for something. So I feel like here the universe is saying, even though you may still feel that this person did perhaps the wrong thing by you, there is an energy here of you supporting them in being able to make an apology to you. So that means accepting that, because it's part of who you are now, not part of who you were. So if you don't want this person's apology, then you don't have to take it. If this person, whether they are a family member or friend, whoever they are, if you don't feel that you are ready to take an apology, then that's entirely up to you. But what you need to do is learn how to forgive. So there is something here about being supportive of this person and listening to what they have to say that is going to help you on the journey. So remember that. Alrighty, I'll leave you with that. Thank you.